Hello. I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded a video. I think I was looking at it and it was like way back in September, I think. But anyway, today I'm driven to come here to talk about empathy, considering that we have just finished elections and I'm a part of a lot of therapy groups, and a lot of therapists are trying to figure out how they're going to be supportive of their clients. This happened again in 2020, and there was a boom in mental health because people did not know how they were going to be able to function moving forward. And so, in the same regard, I've seen this topic really dividing friendships, dividing marriages, work environments, even in the church, it has happened. So, how do we navigate such a divisive topic and the country being so divided so that we can find a way to be okay? Because there's so much anxiety, whether it went in the direction you wanted it to go or it did not go in the direction you wanted it to go. We all need to learn how to be very empathetic. Part of us, our humanity is to be social, is to feel like we belong, is to feel like we are accepted, is to feel like we are loved. And when people are going through major losses, it'll be like loss of a loved one, loss of a job, loss of a relationship, now loss of elections. There's so much going on in people's minds, and the impending fear is, will I be okay? Now, we all know that there are so many people who may not be affected by majority of anything that happens, and they feel like they'll be fine. But there are people whose lives are literally hanging on to a thread that they don't feel like they have the luxury to enjoy today because they don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. Now, there are people who have strong faith beliefs that they can tap into spirituality, they can tap into the word of God, they can tap into prayer. And then there are people who don't even know how to navigate that space. And this is a moment for us, or those who have strong faith. How can you allow the light inside of you to shine through for others so that God can be seen, that God can be um, a source of support for many people through your life? This is where empathy comes in because I remember even during the times of the vaccine where people were so divided that even in marriages, some people literally broke up because they couldn't get along with it. But if you really want your life to have meaning and being able to connect with others, because I've seen people losing connections at the same time with this, how to be empathetic to others who you may not necessarily agree with, right? So when you're interacting with people who you notice that are struggling, just try to listen to what their struggle is, because in politics there are so many topics. Some people about finances, the economy, some people about sexuality, some people about reproductive rights, some people about immigration. So there are so many variety of topics that are in one umbrella. So again, listening to someone, I always tell this to couples, you don't have to agree with someone to listen to them. So my encouragement is try to listen to where they are coming from, because people are processing. When people are processing, they need to feel like there is space for that. And so you can create space. You don't have to shut people down. You don't have to dismiss them. If you feel like you cannot have these conversations, then don't have them. But if you choose to have these conversations, being able to listen to someone without necessarily agreeing with them can be a huge, huge thing, because you're helping them get things off their chest and they can process things, as opposed to you don't agree with them and then we get stuck there, right? And so the other thing you can do is, again, practicing empathy, putting yourself in their shoes, right? So if a person is in a place where they are struggling with something that you cannot necessarily relate to, for a second, put yourself in their shoes and start to see from their vantage point and see if you can connect from that angle. Because this is something that it doesn't necessarily mean that you agree or you understand, but just give yourself permission to see if you're able to relate to it or see from their vantage point and see how far you can go with it. Again, you don't have to agree with someone to see from their vantage point, okay? The other thing is that you can try to express understanding and support, you know? Like you don't necessarily have to go through what someone has gone through to empathize or to support them. Just listening can go a whole lot of ways. You don't always have to fix people's problems that you don't have to fix. You don't have to put it on your shoulders that you have to fix someone else's problems. You can just support by listening to them. That's why people come to us in offices because they don't feel like the people they are with at home even create that space for them to just be heard. So you could just give yourself permission to just be supportive in listening. Again, you don't have to agree, but you can listen, and that could be a form of support. You could also be patient. You know, if you get easily annoyed and irritated, because we are in a very politically charged space right now, um, if you don't feel like you have patience, avoid being with people that you know you're not going to necessarily see eye to eye or agree with so that you're able to not cause more harm to other people, right? And be able to just be able to understand that, you know what, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet to process with you something that I don't necessarily agree with you. I'm not there because my emotions are either angry, sad, don't make sense to me. Don't talk to me about things that don't make sense to me. And you could just be able to create that patience, allow the patience to grow in you to be able to empathize with others. And especially for those that identify as Christians, the parable, it's not even a parable, it was a story that Jesus gave of the Samaritan, you know, the Samaritan, where the Good Samaritan that he was beat the guy was beat and robbed on the street. And all the religious leaders came and walked by and they passed him. And they passed the guy. And it was the Samaritan who came and really took care of the guy, took him to the hospital, paid his bills, and then came to check up on him. This is what true religion is, to visit the orphans, to help the widows, to things like this. So don't use your faith to cause harm. Like somebody actually articulated it so well, and they say, like, I'm not gonna let something that has saved my life to be used to cause pain and harm, because that's not what the gospel is meant to be. So again, if you're experiencing anxiety for yourself during this time, if you're experiencing loss or grief, give yourself permission to process. Some of you are going through depression, some of you are going through sadness, some of you are going through anxiety, not knowing what's going to happen to you. Ultimately, God is in control regardless of what's going on or not going on. But you have to give yourself permission to process. So how do you process? You can journal. You could take walks, you could exercise, you could you could swim, you could do activity with your body that moves your body so that you don't just sit with all of that sitting still in your system, because that's not good for you, because it's just gonna cause your thoughts to just ruminate and just go back and forth and back and forth, and then you're gonna feel like you don't have an outlet, and then you get more anxious. So it's okay to not be okay, but you have to process. And for some of you, maybe you've never been to therapy and but you know that I need to talk to someone, but you don't know where to start. This is the point of coming to therapy. This is where we help you to unravel or unpack what you're processing so that you don't feel alone. One of the longings we have as human beings is a longing to feel connected. That's why we are born into families. Nobody's born like an island and they can just survive on their own. We need one another. We need to support one another. My hope prayer is that you can find a therapist that can work with you. My calendar is still open if you're looking for someone. My office is in Montclair, New Jersey, for those of you who may be local, but also virtual availability for those of you who are not able to come to my office. You can meet me online. But don't just sit with this in your system and not process it. It's very crucial that you let go of your worries and your anxious thoughts and feelings and process them so that they don't stay in your body. And I will let you go with this. I think it's a script. I don't think it is. It is a scripture. It says, "Come to me, all you who are heavy laden and are burdened, and I'll give you rest." It's train your body, train yourself to put awareness into your body system from head to toe and start to scan where you're finding heaviness in your body, whether it's in your head, it's in your neck, it's in your shoulders, it's in your stomach, it's in your chest, it's in your heart, pounding all over the body. Just try to be mindful to let go of every weight that your system is holding on to, because this is where you process like that heavy burden that you're emotionally carrying is not supposed to sit in your system. It will destroy you. If you don't have friends, if you don't have a support system, I've seen a lot of support systems on Facebook. And if not, again, you can still come to my website and I'll give you the support that I can. But my encouragement is do not do this on your own if you don't have support. Find people that you can connect with and be able to grieve or process your thoughts and find coping skills to know that you will be okay. Okay, so thank you again. You could find me on my website, forerunnercounseling.com. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please feel free to subscribe. I'm gonna try to be more diligent in really recording these videos because I think people are not okay. And you could be a part of the solution as opposed to part of the problem. Thank you.